Hey Bianca,
Hey Nadine, how's it going?
I'm doing great, thanks. How about you? How's your math prep been?
Well, it's been pretty good. I have to do a decent amount of basic math at my job, so my math has been okay. I mean, some of the more involved questions are a little bit tough, but it's all right. And the critical reasoning is also okay too, but the vocab has been a bit rough for me.
Oh, I know. The vocab is actually a sticking point for plenty of great test takers. That's kind of one thing that sets the GRE apart from some other tests that we teach. You have to know a lot of vocab words, and it's one of those things that you can't learn overnight because there are only so many new words you can cram into your head in a day.
I know. So I've been trying to commit 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening to learning vocab every day, like you recommended.
Are you ready to look at some questions?
Let's do it.
Okay, so speaking of vocab, here is a vocab question. Give it a try and then we'll review.
Wow, those are some tricky words, but I think the answer is opalescent and saturnine.
Okay, can you explain your choices?
Well, I know what opalescent means. It's like dark and shiny, like an opal, right? And then I wasn't sure what assuage, how do you pronounce that?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. It's actually assuage.
Okay, yes, that one. Not so sure what that means, and same for Pavonine, but Saturnine feels like that's what Saturn, the planet, looks like. And Saturn has those rings, right?
Yeah, and I mean that's understandable. So opalescent is correct, but saturnine actually means gloomy. So unfortunately, in this case, saturnine is a false cognate because I agree with you. When I think of Saturn, I think of it vibrant amber, gas giant with those beautiful rings, but that's not how they thought of it back in the Middle Ages when the word took its current meaning. So then looking at the rest of the options, when used with the words gorgeous and rainbow, the word used in the blank needs to create a contrast with the words uglier and hazard later in the sentence. Innocuous, which means harmless, is close, but it doesn't quite address the imagery associated with rainbows. Opalescent, the rainbow effect created by light cast off an opal, does evoke that imagery, as you said. Assuage is a verb, and we need an adjective, so that doesn't work. Pavonine means colorful like a peacock, so that works. So, with all of that in mind, opalescent and pavonine are the best answers. Does that make sense?
Okay, got it. Yes.
Okay, great. Let me pull up the next question. This is a math question, so let's see what you can do here.
I can never figure out these averages problems. I think maybe the last two lists.
Okay, so tell me how you arrived at that answer.
Well, so they have 5.75 and 6 at the end, which just sort of made them feel bigger. And I feel like Grant needs a lot of points to get his average up. I don't know. I tried to take an average of what he had on his first 8 dives with the numbers in the lists, but that just felt wrong because there aren't the same number of numbers in there.
True. And the arithmetic means problems can be really confusing. There's a lot of ways to solve this, but the easiest is to apply the equation. Average equals the total over number, rearranged as total equals average times the number to compare tools. So if Grant has an average score of 4.75 over 8 dives, that means his total score is 4.75 times 8 equals 38. And he needs a total of 5 times 12 equals 60 points to qualify. This means that any of the lists of values with sum greater than 22, the difference between 60 and 38, will be sufficient. The first total is 20, the second is 22, the third is 21.5, and the fourth is 22, meaning the second and fourth list must be selected. Does that make sense?
Wow. Yeah, that's actually pretty simple when you put it like that. Thanks so much, Nadine.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to help. Okay, so we're at the end of our time today. Great work. To wrap up, let's go through what we covered. So, first, we talked about your upcoming official test, and then we worked on some vocab, and I reminded you of how important it is to get that daily practice in. And then finally, we did some math practice and focused on arithmetic mean equation. Do you think you'll have time to study your vocab and get a complete practice test done?
Yes, definitely. I've got plenty of space in my schedule.
Okay, great. So, as always, please email me when you're finished working so that I can review your results and draw some themes out for our next session. Finally, do you have any questions for me?
No, I think that's good for me. Vocab study is pretty tedious, but I'm working on it.
That's great. And if you keep that focused yet relaxed attitude going into the test, I know you're going to do great. So, as for scheduling, same time and day next week, does that work for you?
Yes. Can we actually also meet another time this week too? Maybe Thursday night. I really want to be ready.
Yeah, absolutely. How about 5 o'clock? You could use the same link as usual to join this room. Does that work for you?
Yes, that works. Thanks, Nadine. I'll see you soon.
Okay, great. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.